So, today's lesson we will discuss tan graphs. You know, so we call it tan x, okay, and how you plot these graphs. Now, tan graph, the basic tan graph looks like this. So, your independent variable is x, y would be tan x. So this looks like this. So here you have pi divided by 2, 0 minus pi divided by 2. So curve looks like this. Now here you will see two asymptotes here. So this is asymptote, right? So when x goes to minus pi divided by 2, tan x goes to minus infinity, and that is asymptote. There is another asymptote here. When x goes to pi divided by 2, so tan x goes to infinity, right? So what is the period here? The period for this graph would be pi. So how do you do that? So your upper limit would be here, pi divided by 2. Your lower limit would be minus pi divided by 2. Period would be the distance between these 2 points. That would be pi divided by 2 minus pi divided by 2. And that's going to be pi. Okay. So now in general, if you have a function like fx is equal to tan nx, right? So there is a coefficient in front of x now. So how to find the period? That would be pi divided by n. Okay, now we have to sketch this one. Y is equal to tan 2x. First of all, we have to find the period. So the period would be pi divided by 2, right? So that will tell you the story. So you just find this, and then period would be pi divided by 2. So how do you obtain pi divided by 2? So the upper bound would be pi divided by 4. The lower bound would be minus pi divided by 4. So the shape of the graph would stay the same. So this is the tan 2x. So if you know this, you can sort of understand the rest of the stuff. Now, what if you need to draw y is equal to minus tan x? How that looks like? You know, that looks like this, right? So this one would be like this, right? So that would be minus tan x. Now we will discuss common trigonometric values. So these are common values everybody should know. Trigonometry values. Now for sine I would say sine 0, then sine 30, then sine 45, then sine 60, then sine 90. Same in cos. So in cos, cosine 0, then cosine pi divided by 6, 30, then cosine pi divided by 4, then cosine pi divided by 3, then cosine pi divided by 2. Now when it comes to tan, it would be tan 0, and then tan pi divided by 6, then tan pi divided by 4, then tan pi divided by 3, then tan pi divided by 2. So sine 0 is going to be 0. Sine 30 is half. Sine 45 is 1 divided by square root 2. Sine 60 is going to be square root 3 divided by 2. Sine 90 is going to be 1. So when it comes to cos, it would be other way around. So 1 square root 3 divided by 2, 1 divided by square root 2, and half, and 0. Now what about tan? Tan 0 is 0. Tan 30. Tan 30 would be 1 divided by square root 3. Tan 45 is going to be 1. Tan 60 would be square root 3. Tan 90 would be undefined. Now we observe that sine 45 is equal to cos 45. That would be 1 divided by square root 2, right? So if you graph it, if you graph this, sine would be like this. So cosine is starting from here now, right? So cosine is coming like this, right? So cosine is like this. So this is pi divided by 2, pi here, 0 here. So this one would be, so this is the intersection over here, right? So that those two graphs are intersecting when y value would be 1 divided by square root 2. Then x value would be here pi divided by 4. So that's why at pi divided by 4, for sine and cos you get 1 divided by square root 2. So now in quadrant formulation we will understand how to represent these values. So this is a circle, right? Now this is the introductory part for this quadrant formulation, and I will teach you why these functions are called circular functions essentially, right? So now for example I will take sine function, one period. This is sine x and it's one period, right? So 2 pi, 0 to 2 pi. So you have pi here, you have pi divided by 2 here, there you have minus 3, it would be plus 3 pi divided by 2. Then this one would be 1, the y value of this point would be minus 1. So suppose that there is a person here, so the person is here, and at the next instant he is going to move to this point. So this journey I'm going to record, I'm going to mimic the journey using a circle. How come? The initial point here is going to be represented here, right? Suppose the person is there, right? Now same horizontal line you can see, right? Now that person is going up, so at the next instant is here. When that person is at the top, so how come I represent that in the circle? Like having a cross at the top point here. Now this point, right, at that point the coordinate would be, y coordinate would be 1, right? So the value here would be 1. So that means this height would be 1, as this height would be 1, right? So this person is going in this way. This guy on the actual line is just following the line. Now here he's going down towards pi. So similarly you can represent that journey in this way on a circle. So this is pi, so we call this point is pi. This is 0 here, so the top point is when x is equal to pi divided by 2, so I represent this point is pi divided by 2. It is just a representation. So now we are at pi. So now we are going down again, right, towards x is equal to 3 pi divided by 2. See, I'm going down towards that point, and this vertical distance would be -1. So at that point x value is 3 pi divided by 2. So we represent 3 pi divided by 2 here. You are going like you are going on a circle. Now when you go up to 2 pi, so this person also going back there. So here you understand 0 and 2 pi are coinciding each other, right? So what we have to know here is 0, 2 pi and pi. 0, 2 pi and pi are on a same horizontal line. You can see that from here too. See, 0 here, pi here, and 2 pi. All three are on the same x-axis. So similarly, in the circular geometry also you can see 0, 2 pi and pi on the same line, right? So there is no vertical separation on the same x-axis. So now we will understand how to represent a cosine function in a circle. So now cosine function starts from 1, right? So this is my horizontal line, and actually it should go with this. So you are starting from here, so that point would be there, right? So 0 point is here. Then you go here where x is equal to pi divided by 2. So this is pi divided by 2. So you are going this way. Then pi, right? So the pi would be here now. So you're going that way. So you can see at pi the value is -1. So exactly this distance would be -1. Then when you go up to 3 pi divided by 2, you are here on the x-axis. So you're going back to this point. So that value would be 3 pi divided by 2. Then you go back to 2 pi, x is equal to 2 pi point. So that means you are going back to here. So similarly 0, pi and 2 pi are on the same axis. See, right? See, 0, pi, 2 pi, all three are on the same axis. When it comes to tan, so tan is little weird. Why? Because you have asymptotes here, right? So but we will try to stick with the basics. So when x is equal to 0 here, when x is equal to 0, the tan value is 0. So that means it's here. The guy is here, right? So now when you go up towards x is equal to pi divided by 2. So x is equal to pi divided by 2, you can consider this point to be that. So you are going up, right? So when you are going up close to pi divided by 2, what would be your vertical value? It goes to infinity, right? So that means this value should be infinity. So essentially in practice this is not going to be a circle, right? So how come it is a circle if the radius is infinite? But hypothetically we will consider infinity is represented using a radius, like same way we did before. Now then we are here, right? So we are at infinity, we are here, so here, right? So that radius is infinity. Now in tan curve, how the next plots looks like, that plot starts from here, right? So suddenly this guy jumps to -infinity. Can you see? So this guy is coming from 0 to infinity and then suddenly jumps into -infinity, right? So how do you represent that? So this guy goes to here, that is infinity, and then from there he suddenly jumps into here, that is pi divided by 2. You can see pi divided by 2 here, okay? And then eventually he is going to 0 back like this. Okay, so this is pi divided by 2. So what I'm saying here, right, tan is little weird, but we will understand how this is happening. So 0 to pi divided by 2, and then the other part would be like it should cross 0 like this, right? So I would say it's pi. Now when you represent that in a circle, starting from here, so this is your starting point here, you go to this point, that point is here, so the x value would be pi divided by 2, the y value would be infinity, so that means this height would be infinity. So suddenly he will jump into the negative infinity here, right? So that means he goes there and suddenly he's jumping here, which is this distance is negative infinity, but at same x value, which is pi divided by 2. You can see that. Then he will go to 0. Similarly, he will go to 0 here, right? So now for this journey, we are not going to utilize the whole circle, so we are not interested in this, right? So the journey is this way, goes up and then goes down and then goes back to 0. So for the tan graph, the half circle is used, not the full circle, right? But why we call circular functions? Because the understanding of this circular function is not essentially the circle. The circular function means essentially the rotation. It's rotating, period, right? Repeated block, repeating. So that's the understanding of circular function. Other than that, there is nothing to do with the circle. But in sine and cos, you could relate that into circle, because in a circle the things are repeating. But when it comes to tan, you can't represent anything with a full circle. It's a half circle, but still you can see from 0 to infinity, minus infinity, that circular thing is happening, right? So that's why we call these circular functions. Essentially, as I told you, it's not because of circles, it's because of the rotation. Okay, so here we are finding the solution for trigonometric equations, right? So in the first one, we have sine x is equal to 0. So first of all, we have to think about how this sine function looks like, and the domain also given 0 to 2 pi. So it would look like this. So 2 pi, 0 to 2 pi. So these are the things, right? So sine x is your y-axis, sine x. So sine x is equal to 0 means you are looking at the values on x-axis. So it will be 0, pi and 2 pi. So the answers would be x is equal to 0, pi and 2 pi. Now I'm going to extend this idea. Now what if sine x is equal to half? Now x is given 0 to 2 pi. So now in this question, sine x is equal to half. The domain is given 0 to 2 pi. So we can still draw it. So this is 2 pi, pi, 0. So your y-axis is sine x, x is x. So sine x is equal to half. So half should be somewhere here. So you can see 2 points here. So this is one solution, this is the second solution. So x1, x2. Now I will tell you a trick here. Now the middle point would be pi divided by 2, right? So the first thing what you have to do is find the solution less than, which is less than which is less than pi divided by 2. How to do that? Using the table. Second one, find the next solution. So the solution is x1, right? So find the next solution. Find the next solution using the previous solution x1. So now we will understand this. Now this is the x1 is less than pi divided by 2. So you know, when x1 is equal to 30, pi divided by 6, sine 30 is half. So this is from the table. This is straightforward from the table. Now we have to understand what is this x1. x1 means this coordinate over here, right? x1 is the coordinate. x1 is the coordinate. Now since it's starting from 0, what about this horizontal length, this length? That length would be x1 minus 0, right? So that would be pi divided by 6 again. Now you will see, due to the symmetry of this sine function, my drawing is ugly, but this distance would be pi on 6 due to what? Symmetry. So that's why I told you in the second statement, find the solution, the next solution using x1. So x1 will help you to find the length, which is pi divided by 6. Then x2 would be nothing but your next coordinate would be pi minus pi divided by 6. So this is now 5 pi divided by 6 is the answer. So these are the two answers that you can get. So now in this question, the domain is given 0 to 4 pi. So it's better to have a look on how these things look like. So it would be like this. So now sin x is equal to half. So this is sin x, right? So that is equal to half. So half would be here. So now you just connect it. So now you will see solution number 1, solution number 2, solution number 3, solution number 4. So we know it up front. Everything is clear. So this point is 2 pi. This point is 4 pi. This point is 3 pi. This is going to be pi here. This is 0. So now we have to sort of use the circular function theory, like rotation, right? So 2 period means 2 rotations. Now first of all we will find this. So we found it earlier. It was pi divided by 6, and we found this one, that was 5 pi divided by 6. Now we understand that this is 1 period here. Now the next solution, this solution is coming after 1 period, right? After 2 pi, right? So, and also we know that this distance is equal to this distance. So we can write that 2 pi plus pi divided by 6, easy. And also we know that this distance from here to here distance is the same as the distance from here to here. So this can be written as now 2 pi plus 5 pi divided by 6, right? So now when you understand this in circular theory, I will tell you, you get a circle, then there are two solutions. One solution is, this is 0 pi divided by 2, yeah, this is pi, this is going to be 3 pi divided by 2, and this is 2 pi. So now within 2 pi you have two solutions. One solution is here, that value is pi divided by 6. The other solution would be before pi, so other solution would be here, see, 5 pi divided by 6. Now this length here would be half. It should be very clear. Now when you are going in another circle from here, starting from here, you go for another circle, and when you come back there, 2 pi plus pi divided by 6 position also the same here. Then if you go for another cycle, then 4 pi plus pi divided by 6 position also the same. Similarly here I will write here, so 5 pi divided by 6 as well as 2 pi plus pi divided by 6, 5 pi divided by 6 and 4 pi plus 5 pi divided by 6. So all of these are like approaching the same position here, right, where the value is half. So that's why some of the teachers teach this using this circle, but it is little complicated and sort of, you know, it's hard to understand, but you can stick with this. Okay, so in this question again, if I go through it, so we can see you know, tan and cos are the quadrants we are going to consider, and x is equal to pi plus pi divided by 4 and x is equal to minus pi 2 pi minus pi divided by 4. So that means we are constructing the solution from pi. Why pi plus pi divided by 4? So that means we are looking at this angle is pi divided by 4. So this position is pi plus pi divided by 4. Now the second solution, 2 pi minus pi divided by 4. So that means we are going here. So we are looking at this position. So at that position, again, this is pi divided by 4, this angle. So the total angle here would be 2 pi minus pi divided by 4. Now these are the correct answers. My question is not that. My question is, why not you are constructing it from here? Why not you are constructing it from why not you are constructing it from 3 pi divided by 2? So you can go from here or you can go from there, and this can be something like, I don't know, like this can be anything. It depends on the question, but my question is, why not you are constructing the solution from 3 pi divided by 2 but 2 pi and pi?